Schaefer, Wisconsin's 75th Alice in Dairyland. Today I'm in Ixonia, Wisconsin with the Folkman family. Welcome to C&L Hereford Ranch.
Well, we're in our 49th year of raising quality Hereford cattle. It's a family operation. Although we're missing our oldest, Nicole, we have my wife, Jill. We have Austin on the end, my youngest son, Curtis, my oldest son, and Allison. And we're all involved in the day-to-day operation here. This is a true cow-calf operation. We started up in the small town of Blair in Trempealeau County, and we raised upwards of 150 Hereford cows up there. And in 1990, we brought the cows down here and we started our family. Married my wife, Jill, 33 years ago.
Good job.
And she did not grow up in the industry. And she's been involved. We're very heavily involved in the Hereford Association in Kansas City. I was a former board member. I'm a current board member on our foundation. Jill was a board member on the women's organization there. Not growing up in the industry and being involved, how warm and welcoming the breeders and the people that are involved in this industry are. We chose to raise our children within this industry. The responsibility and the character building that the day-to-day operation of the farm expounds on the kids. You know, we've been trying to improve cattle since our kids were very small. We've had the fortunate ability that our kids, when they were at a really young age, were sitting on the embryologist's lap looking at 7-day-old embryos. There's a world of experience on a farm. We chose that avenue, and we think that our kids have turned out to be nice young adults. Well, we've talked a little bit about the farm. Let's go for a ride.
Can you talk about what a cow-calf farm means?
The producer that will run his cows through the cycle, and he has calves that are born from the cows, and you will raise those calves through to a marketing point, whether you are selling them as feeder calves that you would feed them out and provide the end product, or that you would sell them to other producers that would background them or feed them to the point of a end user product. But it's a full cycle. And here in Wisconsin, I prefer to start calving around the first of the year. Although it's cold here and we have some snow, we bring our cattle in, which may be a little atypical to the normal producer, where they may calve a little bit later in the spring. But we, due to my off the farm work, we're able to calve out early, and we get into less health concerns with the newborn calves and that when it's cold. And we're able to manage things quite well. We have some facilities there that if it is cold, we can get the calves dried off immediately and going and get colostrum milk into the calves. We'll keep our pairs, our cows in so we can manage them early on before they calve and through calving and get things going. And then we'll slowly introduce the pairs back out, and they'll winter over here where we're going on these corn stalks.
So you talked a little bit about what you do, especially in the winter, to make sure that your animals are healthy. But do you work with nutritionists or veterinarians here on the farm to make sure that your animals are healthy?
We do. We work locally with the Mayville Veterinary Clinic, and you know, quite honestly, I joke a little bit about it, but I believe our cattle are taken care of as well or better than our children. Our family is all part of this operation. Other people that we use here on the farm, they do some nutritional work with us, as well as our local mill, and provide both fertilizer for the crops. We put up our own hay here. on the farm, and we purchase most of our grains that we'll need.
How old are those 3 calves that are walking around?
30 days or less. We'll calve out these cows at home on the home place. We'll come out here with the gator and bring the cows home. We ultrasound pregnancy checking these cows, so we have a firm calving date when they are expected to have their young ones. And after the calves become about a 7 days to 2 weeks old, we will have the cows back out here on corn stubble and be fed here. And the calves will be on their mothers until about the 1st of May out here. We have the corrugated hut here that the calves will be able to get in. We bed that up heavily. We introduce them to a little bit of high quality hay, and that they'll eat hay and nurse on their mothers here into the spring. And then they'll transfer back towards our home place where we have our pasture lots, and the cows with their baby calves will be on pasture through the summer until around the 15th of September when we wean off. The cows here will get fed a little bit of corn silage every day for their energy, and they'll be on the corn stalks depending on the depth of snow that they'll be out here, and they will also have free choice hay bales. Up above there are some wrapped square bales that we put up high moisture, some new alfalfa seeding along with oats, and in those plastic bales that's considered ensiling or pickling that hay. Weaning here generally happens around 6, 7, or 8 months of age. We'll go through our normal herd health in the summer. The calves will have 3 different vaccines that they will give them that will generally prevent pneumonia or respiratory problems. Here, in particular, we'll have a lot of fog and that in the late summer, and it's conducive to that. We found with this protocol that works quite well, and we keep our calves healthy. We will generally late September wean our calves. So the general program for beef cattle is that you have a calf born. They will nurse on the cow for roughly 7 months or 205 days, and then you'll wean the calf off. So you want the right sized calves so you don't have calving difficulty. At weaning, you want a good high weaning weight, and that's an indication of the productivity of both the cow as well as the bull that the calf is out of, and how they mate and work correctly. And so that's another indicator of performance on your cow. Yearling generally is based on how the calf will convert feed between weaning and at a year of age, as well as using that to ratio or to average against the rest of the calves in your herd or what you've produced for the year.
Are there any environmental or sustainability practices that you use here to make sure that the next generation can still farm?
We do rotational grazing here on the home place. We've got 5 pasture, what I consider lots here, and we try to keep those up. As you can see, the grass is still growing here almost the 1st of November. We run these cows on stalks. We're here on the Rock River on the north side of the property, and we have the area fenced out away from the river, so we try to minimalize runoff on that. We have done quite a bit of work because we do enjoy the outdoors and respect wildlife and nature here. Here we've got a small flock of turkeys there walking along the river. Along these fence lines, we planted white oak, red oak, and some tamarack to try to both improve fence lines as well as for the wildlife. The oaks produce nuts, acorns that the deer like. We've got a resident herd of about 40 deer, that white-tailed deer that roam here. We do have the turkeys that we just saw. We have a couple of flocks of resident wood ducks that here, as well as teal, are well noted here in the southern part of Wisconsin. The agriculture ditch that runs through this property and the next property that we own will generally have a good portion of water in it that the ducks will keep themselves in throughout the summer and the fall, and we'll see several hatches of little ones.
So can you talk a little bit about how these cows are out here eating things that we as humans can't and upcycling that into a product for us to enjoy?
Part of beef production is being able to use marginal feedstuffs that the cow can convert to protein. And that's one of the strong points about the beef cattle industry. We run the cows on the stalks in the fall, and we consider it almost free food, non-usable food, because the corn, ear corn or grain has been harvested off of here, but the stalks and the residue provide fiber and feedstuffs to the cow, which in their body composition or stomach's composition, they have four different unique stomachs. And they're able to convert this roughage into protein for a highly usable product that humans can consume. Our cattle will be fed hay and with a small source of grain for energy in the winter, as well as they're on lick tubs that will provide an adequate amount of protein both for themselves and for the upcoming calf that they're carrying. There's some longevity in these cattle. As a breeder, those are things that we pay attention to, particularly because those are economical, important traits in the beef cattle industry. You want the cow to have good feet and legs and structure. You want her to have good eyesight. Potentially, if she does have some pigment, that may help so that you may not get eye injury or pink eye. And then, productivity, how they perform. There is Z1. And Z1 is about 13 years old too. Z1 is polled. Polled means hornless. Genetics, our use of DNA testing to be able to keep, the offspring polled. Our livestock are registered so we, can follow the parentage. And we also do whole herd DNA testing and parent verification too. We are very diversified and involved in genetic improvement here through both AI and embryo transfer. We center our operation on carcass improvement and quality. Today we're going to show you our fall calves that we're going to ultrasound, and we do that also in the spring on our springboard cattle.
What did she weigh? What did she weigh?
1,029.
1,029.
I've got it here recorded.
Okay.
So
Cover it all.
Amy is squeeze on the map.
Right here is our back fat. What I'm doing is I'm rolling this in really good so we get a really clear picture. And the top line you see is the hide line. This next line that you see is this fat line, fat content. This is intermuscular marbling through your rib tops for rotation.
How long has this technology been around?
It's been around a lot longer than what I ever realized. And here's a ribeye. Here is the acorn fat, all the way down to what we call the transverse process, and then the intercostals come out to the screen. And this is how they will measure. It's right through here, all the way around. And they'll give you a ribeye area, ribeye fat thickness, and then they'll do the marbling content as well. My data now that I collect gets sent to a lab where they take everything and measure it, and they give us back then. They recorded everything on VHS, And then they had to go home and take this VHS and hand record themselves to give the data. So it's come a long, long way. This machine is definitely one of the newer ones. We need this. So now we are able to pull blood and do blood work on these animals, and we can give a proper, guesstimated performance, and it's becoming more and more reliable data to use, but it's because of ultrasound. Ultrasound is how they actually come up with everything. This is a performance data that we collect. So basically, when we have EPDs, we know what the animal is supposed to perform, but is it actually doing it, and how do you know? And so this ultrasound data comes back, and we can say, okay, this was supposed to have an IMF that was really good, and did it perform up to its standards? So I really enjoyed the phenotype of this and the performance side of everything. Because are you working for your genetics, or are your genetics working for you?
So how do you choose which animals to ultrasound here on the farm?
Everybody gets ultrasounded
Why do you do that?
so that we have so that we're able to generate ratios, because these are all taken care of the same way, and we want to tell who the highest individuals are as well as the lowest individuals. If we only did one or two, we don't see the whole picture of what we're doing and get the proper information to make proper decisions.
A Hereford bull at this size, I think he weighed nearly 1,400 pounds. That's a really great marble.
We are trying to produce the highest possible product here, beef. In my opinion, it's a little bit about the experience as well. And that's why we're so focused in the carcass improvement and evaluation, because it's a true eating experience. And we feel that the consumer, if they're going to invest their money in the product, they would like a good experience, and we're trying to produce the very best experience that we can.
Wholesome, nutritious beef for consumers really starts with healthy cows, right? So why do you eat beef?
I enjoy it. I enjoy the experience, but beef offers a high, readily source of protein, as well as the 9 essential amino acids that are needed for both growth and maintenance of the human body. Considered a true experience if you have a good piece of beef that you're having, and part of that is acceptable amount of marbling, tenderness, and flavor.
So before we wrap up, I want to hear, what is your favorite part about being a Wisconsin beef producer?
My favorite part is in the spring and fall when we have the babies and we see what our breeding decisions, how they've turned out. That's the most important part of me, as well as today when we ultrasound and see what the results are on that.
Well, thank you for joining us here today at C&L Hereford Ranch in Ixonia, Wisconsin. If you are looking for some more farm tours or some more information about our Wisconsin beef producers, make sure you visit beeftips.com. Thanks for joining us, and enjoy the rest of your day.